Hi there, and welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to create zones in Revit. Now, in the previous lesson, we talked about spaces and why the creation of zones and spaces is important. The reason we create zones is so we can perform studies and analyses. For instance, analyzing the properties of an HVAC system room by room, or section by section. But now let's go ahead and set up the zones first. For our purposes, the definition of a zone is going to be an area that's controlled by one sensor. For instance, a humidity sensor or a temperature sensor. A zone can also be a single space, or it can be a group of spaces, depending on your needs. Let's go ahead and actually create our zone. In order to do that, you're going to go up to the top of the screen and click on the Analyze tab. Once you click on that, you'll see to the left a section that says Spaces and Zones. From there, click on the Zone option. When you do that, the ribbon will change to show the zone options. Under Properties, you can go ahead and change the name of your zone. If you don't know or don't want to rename it right now, you can always do that later from Schedules. If you want to add spaces, it's really easy. All you have to do is go up to the Add Space button. Click on it, and then you can go into your viewing pane and click on whatever room or rooms you want to make into a zone. So for this example, we're going to make offices 1, 2, and 3 on the right a single zone. And we're also going to make the conference room its own zone. In addition to those, we'll make the break room, the mechanical room, the utility room, and the corridor that connects them all as a single zone. And in the bottom of our plan, we'll make the reception area, the men's and women's bathrooms, and the corridor that joins them as a single zone. To make our first zone, we're just going to click on Office 1, Office 2, and Office 3, and it'll join them together. Once you've selected them all, click Finish Editing Zone, and it will create your office zone. Now, you just have to repeat that for the different zones. So go to the Analyze tab, click Zone, and then click Add Space. Click on the break room, mechanical room, electrical room, utility room, and corridor 101, and it'll join them together. Once you're ready, again, just click on Finish Editing Zone. So we'll repeat this process a third time for the bottom part of our plan. We'll go Analyze, Zones, Add Zone, we'll click on Reception, Corridor 101A, and then the men's and women's bathrooms, and then click Finish Editing Zone. Our last zone is the conference area, and it's going to consist of just the one room. So click on Zone, click on the conference space, and then click Finish Editing Zone. And so now we have created the 4 zones that are going to make up our overall floor plan. Now, in order to differentiate our zones, we're going to create a color scheme. So go to the Analyze tab, and click the arrow next to the Spaces and Zones option. That'll create a drop-down menu, and you'll select Color Schemes. A new window will pop up. On the left-hand side, under Category, click the drop-down arrow and select HVAC Zones. That will load up Scheme 1. Now, go to the bottom of the menu and click OK. In order to apply this scheme to your Revit plan, go into the Properties window. Make sure that you're on the view that you want to have the scheme applied to. Once you're sure you're in the right view, scroll down until you get to the option that says Color Scheme. Click on the button next to Color Scheme. Right now it says None. Once you do that, a menu will pop up, and you can apply your color scheme by spaces or by zones. For our first attempt, we're going to apply the schema by spaces. Click on Schema 1, and then hit OK. When you do that, the color scheme will be applied to your entire view. As you can see on our screen, every separate space has been assigned a different color according to Schema 1. In order to edit the schema and make it based on zones, click on Scheme 1 next to Color Scheme, and then go to the drop-down menu under Category. Choose HVAC Zones, Schema 1, then hit OK. When you do that, as you can see on the screen, the color scheme will be changed so that it's based on the zones that we set up, not the individual spaces. Those spaces still exist, but the color scheme is by zone. So, let's review. In this lesson, we discussed how to create zones, as well as discussing what zones are. We also discussed how to create a color scheme for our zones and individual spaces. See you in the next lesson.